All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this very special Q&A live stream. I want to once again apologize for not having the ability to do one of these in a very long time. Just I had a lot in my uh, one of my last few semesters, so I do want to apologize for not having frequent videos and frequent live streams. A lot of stuff has come up that I've had to do, the holidays and everything. But I am back to getting videos out. It's just it's going to take some time. So I want to once again, if I know people are looking forward to videos and uploads, there is a couple things I am trying to get together. But as you can see, it's not as easy to get a lot of that stuff together more so. So I want to apologize if we haven't done these, and because I'm looking right now, we haven't done a Q&A live stream in about 2 months, almost 2 months, 2 months as of January 6th. So we're doing one tonight, and we do have a lot to talk about, obviously. So, high tech, yes, it did get modernized again. I'm not going to the Mills. I want to get back to the Mills at Jersey Gardens, but there's no urgency for me to go there right now. But I will get back there at some point. Yeah, Primark does pretty well, so that's not a surprise. But I mean, I'm sure obviously now with people spent from the holidays, the malls are pretty quiet, and that's usually, unfortunately, as much as I hate to rain on anyone's parade, that's usually when the store closings get announced. There's a bunch of them right now for Macy's. Some I was right about, but I don't want to make a video yet until we have like an official confirmation from corporate that says, yeah, these are the stores that we're closing. Um, but it's definitely a bunch that I had expected, like no surprises whatsoever. Um, Definitely some expected, some shocking, a little surprising, but expectations were I kind of knew what was coming, and after looking at like the analysis of like a map or something, it what's it called? It's not a surprise. So yeah, so the big announcement, I am trying really hard to put that together. I don't know if it's going to come through, but I am still pushing for it. I can't really give any details until it's like everything is set in stone. But I am still working on it. It is taking a little time. We have taken some unprecedented paths before, but it is still in the works. I am still trying to persist the path. Again, I really just can't give out any details yet because I don't want to jump the gun on something that might not even happen. But I am still working on it. It is taking some time for sure. There is supposed to be some more. I hear there's going to be a couple of Big Lots stores that are going to be closing. Excuse me, within the next couple of weeks. So that is going to be interesting. Willowbrook getting J.C. Penney is also another very interesting 2024 move. But I mean, if you take a look at the Wayne Town Center, and I've been in the Wayne Town Center J.C. Penney at least 2 or 3 times. With them having half the second floor downsized, I think they're going to be getting a much better store in a much better location, and it'll allow the developers to knock the building down. I'm sure they're going to put up like apartments or something, because there's no really apartments in that immediate area of that Wayne and Willowbrook area. So having apartments near a Costco is like would be a dream. So I'm sure that's probably what they're gonna repurpose that store. And honestly, that J.C. Penney at Wayne Town Center, that's the last. If you physically think about it, that is the last piece of the Wayne Town Center Mall. I've never been inside the Wayne Town Center Mall, but that J.C. Penney store in particular is the very last piece of the mall. So once that goes, that's pretty much it. But J.C. Penney will once again technically be connected to a mall, despite it taking almost 50 years for them to go to Willowbrook. So yeah, it just also didn't have enough room. I mean, not that it didn't have enough room, but there were definitely sections of the store that were emptied out. It seemed that they were cutting costs, and it really was boiling down to were they going to close the store, or were they just waiting for the right location? And I'm guessing J.C. Penney sign something with Hudson's Bay Company to take over the store, which honestly will be a huge boost for Willowbrook because that's going to be a very strong anchor lineup. You're going to have a Macy's, a J.C. Penney, a Bloomingdale's, and a BJ's Wholesale Club. A mixed kind of anchor lineup, but still a very strong one, especially for a mall in 2023. So you really can't go wrong there. No, they're not. They're not renovating. They're not gonna. Oh, you're talking about JCPenney Roosevelt Field. Yeah, they downsized to 2 floors at JCPenney Roosevelt Field, which honestly doesn't come as a surprise at all. If they move checkouts around, yeah, then that means they're not closing. So Monmouth Mall, I heard it's supposed to be closing at some point. Yeah, I heard about Harrisburg Mall. I'm happy I went there 2 years ago. It's a real. I'm really disappointed I never got to step foot inside the Macy's over there. But it doesn't come as a surprise. You know, they're once again going to redevelop that whole area of the Harrisburg Mall. It's a shame. I personally think the mall had a lot of potential. Personally, it could have been the Capital City Mall, but again, more money was poured into that than it was poured into Harrisburg Mall, and Boscov's leaving. Obviously, didn't help the property. The Macy's was, and you got to remember that 3-level Macy's was a hex. It was a hex department store. So I don't know. It's a tough call to make, but I'm not surprised. The good news is they're keeping the Bass Pro, and the Bass Pro still has some elements of May Company, John Wanamaker's, and Lord and Taylor. So that in itself is I think pretty good that they're keeping that. And technically speaking, that will now be the last piece of the Harrisburg Mall because the whole mall's coming down. The other problem too is that they closed the cinema in the days of the pandemic. Again, I think Harrisburg Mall had a lot of potential. I think it really had the potential to be a player in Dauphin County, Pennsylvania, and that whole Hershey area with Hershey Park and obviously the state capitol. Just the problem was Capital City took a lot of resources away, and that and Colonial Park didn't help. So there was a lot of different variables and factors that didn't help the property. It's a shame. I think again the mall had a lot of potential with Bass Pro, and I think it was too little, too late, and probably the recession didn't help. And it's just really unfortunate. The whole situation is just the whole situation is just unfortunate for the property. That is for sure. In Arlington, Virginia, they mentioned that there will be big renovations to the Macy's. They will redevelop it into apartments. Have you heard that? So they're probably doing something where they're going to put apartments in the parking lot of the Macy's. This is another trend that's happening. They're putting apartment buildings in parking spaces because they want to utilize every piece of available space where it's not being utilized because then you're losing money on it. I don't know. I think the apartments at the malls, it is smart to some extent. The challenge is you're going to have so many of these apartment buildings. Are people really going to go from mall to mall to mall? And then, obviously with the popularity of remote jobs, I don't know. I'm not big on living in a mall. I don't know. Maybe that's me. So Neiman Marcus, I haven't seen anything yet about them closing stores. I know they got out of. I know COVID killed the last coal business, but Neiman Marcus, I don't think they're going anywhere. At least not yet. Oh, okay. That's pretty funny. Not surprised. It's again, Roosevelt Field is one of the top performing malls in the state of New York. So the fact that they have a full food court, it's like Westfield Garden State. I per I I actually prefer the food court at Roosevelt Field, and yeah, that's shocking, but Simon knows how to do food courts. I will say I've always been impressed with how they did the Rockaway one nice, they did the Quaker Bridge one nice. They tried to do the Livingston one nice, but obviously they don't own Livingston anymore. And what was another food court that Simon did well in New Jersey? Oh, Menlo Park and Quaker Bridge too. No, and I don't think that's a 2-level one. Yeah, I know. They're gonna. I think that one of them is gonna close. I'm just not sure which one is yet. No, it's just because they don't need to utilize the 3rd level. Not a lot of people go through 3-level. Honestly, if we're going to be frank here, three level department stores in 2023 is becoming a very rare sight. I mean, obviously it's normal here because, we're so overcrowded that we need the three level department stores. But once you get like outside the major metropolitan areas, the most of the Macy's stores like are usually about two levels. There's very few exceptions, but most Macy's stores are usually two levels, and even then, Macy's is trying to do the one level stores. So it's a shame. It's definitely a bygone era for sure. So, yep, Mall at the Source is still dead. Yeah, but they downsized the Sears in Jersey City. Yeah, the Macy's list is coming out tomorrow at some point. There was somebody did leak the list, but nothing yet from corporate. The corporate announcement's coming tomorrow. No, they won't have Boscov's won't go there. No. That's like Boscov's wanting to go to Paramus, which I'm surprised they haven't looked into that. But again, Boscov's is more for that type of retired type of person. I just don't see Boscov's coming to Wayne, unfortunately. It's very doable for sure, and I think Boscov's would do a beautiful job. But does Boscov's really want to invest money in a not so great area? It's a little shady, I think. Boscov's is better off keeping to their central southern Jersey customer base. I don't think that Boscov's would go there. It would be nice for sure, a department store replacing a department store. But again, in 2023, that's a very hard thing to come by. I mean, obviously, with the exception of the whole J.C. Penney moving to Lord and Taylor, but that's just because J.C. Penney is owned by Brookfield, and Brookfield's trying to get them to go in there, and they're trying to lease the space. So that's where that all kind of ties in a little bit. Yeah, I know. I literally have the list right in front of me. So yeah, Livingston is. And I had speculated for a very long time that that store is very likely to close, and I think it's probably going to be in the announcements tomorrow. There's a couple of challenges. You have Macy's at Rockaway to the west, Macy's Short Hills to the south. You have the Macy's Backstage in West Orange, and Macy's Willowbrook to the north. To have Macy's in Livingston, look, don't get me wrong, but this ain't 1973 anymore. I mean, yeah, it opened up as a Bamberger's, but one, the mall's pretty much dead at this point. Sears closed in 2020. Lord and Taylor closed in 2020 as well. It was one of the first to actually close by Hilco. And now, 4 years later, Macy's is now shutting down. Not surprising, though. I mean, Livingston died pretty quickly, and Simon wrote off that property. I think they either sold it last year or the year before. Uh, but it's a shame. Again, I think Livingston also had a lot of potential too, but Simon didn't invest early enough in time. And I think once Simon was focused on the Taubman deal, I think Simon began to shift their focus away because they knew that they were going to get the better mall in the area. And obviously, they're probably just waiting for the Taubman person to like move away from his post. And then, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, Simon's going to probably ruin everything that Taubman did in the mall at Short Hills because Simon's going to want to put their spin on the mall, which is unfortunate, but evolution is evolution. 1980s architecture cannot be kept forever, sadly. Yes, it's a very big store. Queens Center Mall, yeah, it's the only Macy's in Queens. So yeah, and I would think the Queens Center Mall is pretty good. Let's wait and see what happens with that list. I don't want it because there could be more Macy's stores shutting down. Like I don't think that this is the only. I don't think these are the only ones that are going to be closing. No, but if Macy's in Livingston is going to close, I'm going to probably do like a double dip where I'm going to go to Livingston and Short Hills within the same day. But I definitely need to go to Short Hills. Yeah, I know. Because they modernized that. They did something else there too that I would like to see. The parking deck elevators at Bloomingdale's. Yeah, no, it's definitely. I definitely need to ride those Schindlers for sure. New York, right now they're saying just the Hampton Bay Plaza one, but I'm sure they might add Sunrise to that list. Yeah, probably same reason. They probably don't have the restaurant up there, and they're probably just trying to cut costs. Yeah, for now, and I think the only reason is the owners are doing a good job breathing some life into that property. And I I guess it's far enough away from Woodbridge Center and Menlo Park where there's a need, and they're getting some entertainment in there, which I guess because Macy's owns the property, it's really weird. I mean, they might even close Monmouth Mall and keep that one, which would be weird, but not surprising, I guess. Yeah, they have a lot of theft issues there. Kohl's? No. I know a bunch of people, the seasonal workers are probably gonna be, their contracts will be terminated soon. Yeah, that's why I didn't wanna put a video out because I wanna wait to see if Sunrise is gonna be on there. I'm sure there's gonna be a couple of others, like, this small list that I'm looking at right now, I have a monitor actually. I just don't think it's all of them, so yeah, that one too, and they might even add Macy's and Mays Landing, so I wanna wait until there's, like, an official list that shows that, okay, these are the stores that we're closing, and they're gonna be closing in March. So, none really. I'm not really surprised by any of them. I know a lot of them are at dead malls, so no surprises. Happy New Year. Yeah, no, Exton Square Mall needs to go. That's probably gonna be done. That's definitely, yeah, and it is on the list here as indicated, so yeah, that's pretty much done. I don't know about Kmart. I miss the Burlington fixtures though on those things, despite never riding them. Yeah, Kohl's might be cutting some stores too. I just haven't seen anything yet about closings. I think the big ones though that are in trouble. I mean, definitely Rite Aid because they have the opioid lawsuit, and obviously the opioid lawsuits. That's going to be like the that's what's going to kill the company. Joanne Fabrics, I think too, is in a lot of trouble. It's hard to compete with Michaels. It's like AC Moore. Do you really need another craft store? Hobby Lobby too, I think, is in some trouble. Big Lots is probably going to crap the bed this year. Um, what else? Who else? I think Cost Plus World Market is in some trouble too. I think they're probably going to go as well. Um, and we'll just have to wait and see who else is going to go. Well, right now, definitely Macy's, but I would say Joann Fabrics and Big Lots, Party City for sure. We'll definitely see some more store closings from them. Staples, it looks like they're actually closing a store near me. Believe it or not, they're another company that's unfortunately in some very troubled times. They're still not bad people. I like the one near me, but there's nobody in there. It's sad. It's really sad because what I like about Staples personally, I mean, not that I'm a big Staples person, they're great for like the print services, like you can't beat anywhere else. Which I think that's something they should really focus on because don't get me wrong, I love walking through Staples once a quarter, but it's really sad to walk through one. I mean, it's really sad even for the people that have jobs there. I mean, you go in there versus going to there's a BJ's within the same area, just two different worlds. I mean, Costco definitely does more volume than the BJ's where the Staples is, but you guys get the idea. Yeah, I still have one Rite Aid near me, which I'm shocked that it hasn't closed. I'm also shocked too that there's actually a CVS nearby. It hasn't even looked into relocating. And honestly, I think that's what's going to happen. Because think about it, you're getting a free pharmacy with a free drive-through. How could CVS pass that up? CVS goes in there, renovates the store, they get rid of their old store. Guess what? Where that existing CVS is, high rise. You know what I'm saying? Like they could make a move like that. So, you know, Raymond Marquez is really just a puppet controlled by Eddie Lampert to be what he's trying to do is he's trying to give people the and especially on like LinkedIn the perception that Sears is coming back and we're doing this. I'm like, you're really just going to reopen a store where number one, it's not even renovated. Yeah, okay, you're going to throw some merchandise in there, but you know, like why? Just because nobody wants the stores? I mean, it's going to fail. It is going to fail 100%. Their small format stores didn't work. That Sears Home experiment in Willowbrook Mall was a disaster. Why should we expect that all of a sudden that this is going to work? So yeah, that's probably not gonna stick, unfortunately. Party City is definitely done. Michaels, I think Michaels is okay for now, although Michaels will probably close some stores. We have 2 Michaels within, like, less than 5 miles, and again, that's just because Michaels acquired AC Moore. But having 2 Michaels very close to each other is it just doesn't make sense. Dollar Tree? No, Dollar Tree's not going anywhere, trust me. Especially in this day and age with inflation and everything, Dollar Tree's not going anywhere, and actually, they're opening up a new one near me, a relocation more so because the one right now is in a really awful spot, so they're trying to get out of there and they're trying to relocate. They're actually, believe it or not, taking over one of the Harmons I toured, which is kind of crazy to think. But a Dollar Tree is about the right spot for where a former Harmon is. Speaking of which, I think one of the 5 Harmons that are supposed to reopen up, one of them is going to be in Paramus. Yeah, Amazon Fresh won't last. No, you got the supermarkets in the other areas of the country, and you have, in addition to that, you also have what's it called? You have the other supermarkets too, and you have Walmart, which doesn't help. So Office Max and Office Depot, why haven't they closed? I mean, I know we don't have any around here, but I mean, they should have just merged. I mean, the Fed screwed them over. I could say the federal government definitely screwed over Office Max and Office Depot. I'm not blaming the feds, but the end result is they're just going to keep closing stores. They should have just merged. I think they're gonna incorporate that building into the mall. I don't think that building's going anywhere. We just don't know the name of the tenant yet. Someone was said a rumor many it was like a couple of years ago. Saks was looking to go to Westfield Garden State because their American Dream location was poorly performing. It wouldn't surprise me if they do that down the road because Saks then that would really power up the mall. I mean, that would be such a strong lineup. You have a Macy's, Nordstrom, Saks Fifth Avenue, um, and Neiman Marcus all under one roof in New Jersey is like one of the best malls in the state in terms of like numbers. Uh, it would just make the most sense for them to do that. But they might hold on to American Dream for a little bit longer because I'm sure they have to fulfill their lease until then. Yeah, because that luxury wing is really right now only being held together by the Saks. It gets a little bit trickier when there's not really a department store. Like right now at the Shops Riverside, the Bloomingdale store, which is owned by Macy's, is kind of holding that Simon property together right now. Um, so no Walmart closings unless there's some more theft, which yeah, the organized retail crime thing is pretty scary. I mean, I've even seen videos like it's just a bunch of people that go in these like masks and they just kind of just take stuff off the shelves. It's horrible because, and you got to feel bad for the retail workers because the more people do that in those areas, guess what? Those people that are making minimum wage, and because those people are stealing the stuff, corporate says, yeah, we can't keep this store open. We have to close it. And then guess what? Those people are now out of a job because idiots decided to take stuff off the shelves. And I get it too. Corporate doesn't want to take the losses, but the workers get screwed because now they have to search for new jobs. It's really just an unfortunate cycle. UPS and FedEx? No, UPS and FedEx aren't going anywhere. I've been to FedEx before. I haven't shipped anything through FedEx, but I have been to the FedEx stores. Yeah, FedEx and UPS aren't going anywhere. Trust me. We need shipping services. Oh well, that's good. At least they're filling that vacancy. Yeah, theft again, then district managers come in, they probably have someone coming from corporate and then they say, um, you know, uh, we have to close this store. So how about fast food restaurant closings? Boston Market. 2 words. Boston Market. Yeah, and another one that's really struggling too is TGI Fridays. They're closing a bunch of locations. I probably have to hit the one in Hackensack pretty soon. I'll have to go there just to see the place one last time. I don't know. Hi, Karam. How are you? I don't know. They opened up an IKEA there. Again, San Francisco is one of those cities where they really let it go to crap, which is unfortunate. And again, goes back to organized retail crime. Just people just going into stores, taking stuff. And yeah, I haven't been back to San Francisco. I only went to San Francisco once. It's really nothing special. It's like when I went to Seattle. It's good to see. I mean, there's definitely sights to see. I mean, even in San Francisco, there's awesome things to see. But it's the homeless that really, it's unfortunate. So, oh, five. I had one Five Guys that closed by me, but Five Guys does pretty well. Just I don't know. Yeah, but I'm sure they're converting those Family Dollar locations to Dollar Tree. Ace Hardware is pretty good. He's doing great. I actually saw him earlier today. ShopRite? No, ShopRite. ShopRite is fine. Shop? Are you kidding me? I go to my local ShopRite, and there's people in the parking lot all the time. I mean, in the capital region, sure, they're done, but not around here. No, they're just that was a tough market for them. What probably didn't help too is that they probably didn't have a distribution center there, so probably logistics and costs really added up pretty quickly. I know that ShopRite. I know exactly what ShopRite you're talking about too, because I've driven past it a couple times. Yeah, no, I agree. They need a new one. That one is so fucking outdated. They need to put a new one there. I 100% agree. And I think they're gonna do. They're probably gonna do a world class ShopRite. So you're probably about to get a really nice ShopRite down there. They are, but they closed the one in the Harlem neighborhood. Again, organized retail crime. Closing these. Yeah, it's all goes back to that organized retail crime. Yes, but Simon did a beautiful job revitalizing the company that Hudson's Bay let go to crap. They put the beautiful AMC on the upper level. They put a beautiful gym in the basement, and they put the Cheesecake Factory and Barnes and Noble on the middle level. So I would say that, excuse me, I think Simon Property Group did a beautiful job putting in some really strong and key tenant names too. They definitely got a lot of traffic to that portion of the mall. I mean, when you put a Cheesecake Factory, a Barnes and Noble, I don't really like the Barnes and Noble necessarily because the light's too much in your face. The Paramus one is not bad. It's just again, it's a one floor Barnes and Noble, and am I ever going to go back there? Because no, because they don't have a moving box. It's a shame though that they got rid of the one on 17. That was a beautiful gold Schindler MT. It's a real shame that one had to go. I'm sure the building's going to get knocked down soon too. They're probably just waiting for the permit to knock the building down. So, but yeah, Simon did a beautiful job revitalizing it. But yes, I agree. 8 years ago or 7 years ago or however long it's been, that Saks Fifth Avenue was a dump. It was a dump of a store. They saw Saks needed to what Saks should have done, what Hudson's Bay Company should have done. I 100% agree. Close Hackensack in favor of East Rutherford, but closing Short Hills was probably the biggest mistake Hudson's Bay Company. And I get it; they wanted one store per state. That's a good marketing thing, but no other store. I mean, and I know this is probably a topic for discussion. And every time you guys join one of these live streams, you don't leave one of the most luxurious properties in the state in favor of American Dream. Again, I'm not trying to bash American Dream. I'm not here to bash Triple Five. Triple Five has done a very good job with mixing it in, but a full luxury mall is luxury through and through. In other words, it's a mall where you know, there's all luxury all around. And it's not just all luxury all around, it's all, upscale restaurants, that kind of stuff. And again, not to say that American Dream is not a luxury property, because there are good luxury stores in there, but it's mixed in with the lower mid tier retail, which doesn't really give for a luxurious experience, at least in my opinion. So, but going back to the whole Saks thing, Hudson's Bay Company made the wrong call to close that store. And I will still bring it, I will still say it to this day, Hudson's Bay Company made the wrong call to close Short Hills. They made the right call, though, to close Hackensack. I agree with their decision there. Absolutely. That was a dump. That was a dump, and it needed to close. But closing Short Hills, not a good move because they actually gave up a really nice store that I've only been inside once, sadly, for a really not so nice looking store in East Rutherford and American Dream. And I've been to that one in Whitman. Whitman puts that one to shame. Seriously, I mean, I don't mind going there, but when you go to the Saks at Walt Whitman Shops in Huntington Station, and you compare it to that Saks, it really does put it to shame. Seriously, really does put it to shame. Yeah, but their all fifth business is doing well. Stop and Shop versus ShopRite. ShopRite is better quality food, honestly. Better deals. Their supermarkets are definitely a lot more updated. I know Stop and Shop is trying, there's just not enough people going in there. The one right by me at definitely is probably going to see a closing pretty soon. I just don't know if they're fulfilling an Urban Edge lease or they extended their lease. I don't know. All I know is that it's looking incredibly dated, and I just don't know if they're going to keep it open much longer. It's sad because the employees there are very nice, but corporate has to make decisions, make some cuts, and what Stop and Shop stores are going to get the axe? Potentially ones that don't have renovations. It's like the Burger King that I showed you guys a couple months ago or last year. I mean, this Burger King was like no renovation. It wasn't like the rest of the Burger Kings in the area. Reduced hours. So already that's three reasons of why the Burger King. Then they closed it. And then I did a whole walk around and almost got 1,000 views. So thank you guys for that. Thanks for the feedback on that. No, Smith Haven is doing very well. Smith Haven has the college there. They're going to get a nice new Primark. They have the Cheesecake Factory. They have Barnes and Noble, Dick's Sporting Goods. Smith Haven is doing fine. They're not doing bad. Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. Yeah, Friendly's is another really struggling one. I have to get there too. These are all places that I need to get to, but it's very hard, when you got all stuff going on. But I am going to try and get to some of these places because it is going to be bittersweet when all these places kind of go. I saw Bright Sun Films' thing on Ruby Tuesday. He did a very nice job on that one with Ruby Tuesday. He actually ended up eating at one, which is pretty cool. And then he redid Nickelodeon Studios, which I absolutely loved. And then he did another video too, which I got to watch at some point. But I love Bright Sun Films, by the way. Love, 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 love his content. He really goes through and through. He kind of inspired me a little bit to do what I do, but I got to give credit. He's a very he knows what he's talking about. He's all his facts, and he does a very good job with his videos. Like they're very good productions, especially when he does the stuff on like the theme parks in Florida. I think that's pretty cool stuff. Yep, I know. I've been to that Target before. I just use iMovie, honestly. Not necessarily, because Menlo Park downsized to 2 levels. I still think they should have kept that store, but I'm not the one making decisions at corporate. Well, I'm shocked that they don't, but yeah, if ShopRite's going to have more stores in New Jersey because they're a New Jersey-based supermarket, so of course they're going to go all out on supermarkets here. Happy New Year. Yes, I've been to Macy's Herald Square. It's a very nice store. And they have a Louis Vuitton elevator that I just rode a couple weeks ago when I went into the city. Dulles Town Center, I don't live in Dulles, so I really can't speak on behalf of that question, unfortunately. Well, if they modernize the Nordstrom elevators at Roosevelt Field, they're still doing well currently. So that's good. Yeah, like I said, that Old Bird ShopRite is probably going to be a world-class one. Oh, and I apologize if I'm reading these comments like 7 minutes behind. I'm trying to really explain stuff, so I do apologize. I'm trying to get through everybody's comments. Oh, good. So that one is probably going to be a world class, better looking world class shop, right? Did you see Barnes and Noble closing? No. There's a couple, but nothing crazy. Excuse me. Yeah, and that all goes back to real estate, sadly. Um, which one outlasted? Oh, which one's worse? Harrisburg Mall. Sunrise at least has some notable tenants left. Harrisburg Mall, there's not really that much left there. Home Depot or Lowe's? Which one do I like better? They're pretty much about the same. I would say Lowe's is definitely slightly more expensive, and I would say Home Depot is more of the value one, at least in my opinion. There's a list, but nothing confirmed yet from corporate. I've been to that Stop and Shop before. They have the Federal elevator in there. No, Saks Fifth Avenue is still going to utilize 2 floors, but they're going to start. Yeah, they won't utilize 3 floors anymore. No, I haven't seen that movie. They only used the 2 floors. They had a very small section in the basement, which was like kids back in the day. But yeah, they've since closed it off. I don't know. There's supposed to be some medical thing there. Yeah, but then again, it looks bad for 555 if they leave. Nothing except the Primark inside the Sears. No, the ANS is 3 floors. The basement is employees. No, Bloomingdale's and Short Hills does well enough where they can actually keep all floors open. Plus, on the top floor, they have a really nice restaurant. That's hilarious. Yeah, I started watching it, but I know Six Flags is now yeah that's a big one. Six Flags merging with or Cedar Point buying out Six Flags. That's going to be an interesting one. 10,000. There is a closing list for Macy's. No, some of those tenants will stay. They're redeveloping the whole Monmouth Mall into a town center because of the Kushner Companies, which is owned by. I think you guys know who all owns that, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah, Macy's loves Jersey City because it's like their 3 level store outside of New York City, like the next closest one west of Herald Square. So they like that one. I would say another really big one for them is Paramus, the one at Westfield Garden State, and then the other big one is Macy's at Roosevelt Field. Yonkers too, I think does pretty well for them in terms of numbers. Yes, he does. He really does produce amazing videos. I honestly, I'm starting to think that that's his full time job. But you know what? He's got the talent. He can get the facts together. Kudos to him. Seriously. No, there is some that are renovated in Bergen County. Not all of them are run down. There is definitely Stop and Shops that are renovated. The one in Hackensack got a nice renovation. I think they're renovating a couple others too. So Cracker Barrel. I don't think so, unless J.C. Penney is gonna unless Brookfield signs a really good deal with J.C. Penney. That would be a weird mix. A Macy's, a J.C. Penney, and a Bloomingdale's. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if J.C. Penney were to take it over, but is J.C. Penney really gonna? Let's see what happens in Wayne first. I think Wayne will be a test, and if it's successful enough, where hey, we really see that you're doing well in Wayne. Do you think it can help us out in Bridgewater? It could happen. But again, the other challenge with that is that Brookfield doesn't own Bridgewater, so it gets a little tricky. But maybe you always have to do a test before you do something. That's just how things work. You always want to test out something before you have a full rollout. So yeah, I think that might be a Bloomies, or they might close that one altogether down the road. Yeah, Macy's and Hamilton. I mean, it's a 3-level Macy's in the middle of nowhere. I'm not faulting the owners, but when you lose the Sears into J.C. Penney and the Shoppers World craps the bed, it's just not good. Sears at Newport Mall still going to be there. Primark's taking over the 2nd level. That won't happen, at least not yet. Yeah, I could definitely see them closing stores. Yep, they're going in the form of Bed Bath and Beyond. Dick's House of Sport. I think it's going to be an awesome concept, and I think Freehold's getting a really nice one. Yeah, Shoppers World was a joke. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I had one of my relatives that went in there. It's a big joke. But, anyways, so I think we're at the end of the questions here. I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. And Happy New Year, everybody.